Oh, and that is a very, very big 3 points, isn't it?
Yeah, I said before the game, we knew Paphos very well organised in the games they've played in this competition. They've always been a big challenge to the opposition. A lot of good things in our game, just the final bit, and we had dominance and control, chances. The goalkeeper makes some really, really good saves. But what I liked about the team today was the body language. They kept going. The body language didn't change. The energy in the team, the counter pressing, the press was really, really good. You want to score more goals, but at the end of the day, we're in a position now where we know if we win the next game, we're in the top 8.
Do you understand if Chelsea fans have frustrations with the performance out there tonight? Not the result, obviously, but the performance.
Yeah, for sure. The standards here are really, really high. The fans come here to see goals. They want to see shots, and it's my job to improve, to improve on that, and the players as well. So for me, it's a fine balance at the moment. I know fans want to come and see goals, but for me, 2 clean sheets in a row, when it's been a long time since that's happened, is a positive thing. And my job is to keep building us and keep being in games and keep trying to win games.
Moises Caicedo got the goal. I know this is a pretty stupid question, but just how important is he to this Chelsea side?
He's massive. I said before, for me, defensively, the best defensive midfield player in the world right now. So he's a joy to work with. Not just his in possession, his out possession, the way he blocks passing lines, the things that he makes players around him better. I don't know how many headers he scored in his career, but it was a fantastic header and a really, really important moment in the game.
With a player like him, I asked him actually after the game if he feels like a leader in this squad, even though he is still really young. And he said he doesn't talk much in the dressing room, but he tries to do his talking on the pitch. And my word, does he do that?
Yeah, there are different ways to lead. You can be a shouter or a talker. You can lead through your play and through the way that you conduct yourself. He is a top professional. His humility is incredible, and he's going to get better and better. So for me, he's another player I'm absolutely loving having in my group, and I think he's enjoying it, and hopefully he helps us be successful in the future.
Reece James came off at half-time. There'll be a lot of Chelsea fans looking at that, worrying that might have been an injury. Nothing to do with an injury, just precautionary, managing his minutes.
Managing the group as best as I can. We have so many games. Reece is so important. I don't normally do pre-planned subs, but I wanted Reece to feel the way I wanted the team to play. But I also need him because he's so important for us. So we made an attacking change. We brought on Esteval for Reece and played it with an extra attacking player. And I thought Esteval, when he came, was very, very good as well.
And just finally, into the top 8 currently as it stands, and that's put Chelsea in a much better position, but a huge task away at Napoli next week.
That's why you're in football. That's why I'm here. We first have to go to Selhurst Park on Sunday, which is going to be a really difficult physical game. And then I'm focused on that, and then we'll make sure that we try and get the best game plan, the best preparation for Napoli afterwards.
Congratulations tonight, Liam.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, good to hear from Liam Rosenior, and so level-headed, so measured. He's clearly a deep thinker, and he's going to forensically look at this game and look at all the things that the side did well and the side what they didn't. In your mind, what were the most positive things you can take from this?
I think, like you said, body language. I think it would have been easy after about to let nerves kick in. You always felt they were going to score and break them. I thought positive. You think Caicedo again? I thought that was one of his games where he's more influential in terms of the final third. He could have scored 2 or 3. There wasn't many positive. The win, the most important positive, is if you got that, everything else is a bonus. But there's a lot to work on. There is, and I think to have the Christmas period, then your manager's gone, new manager. At a club like this, when you're in that whirlwind, especially for young players without the senior players in the dressing room, Joe, like to calm it all down. I'm just thinking to my time back when managers left, it was quite an unusual occurrence. So it was a calmness. I'd imagine, I don't know what it's like with that. They don't know Liam, so they got to get to know him. It's not like you're bringing in an Ancelotti figure where you know what his teams have done and you know what he's about. A lot of these lads wouldn't have had too much information on him. So all of that to contend with, a semi-final, 4 different competitions. The main thing is to win, and these lads keep winning games of football and finding a way. But there is a lot to improve on as well.
Yeah, definitely. They'll take some positives, again, some individual performances, the persistence, as he spoke about. But again, on the flip side, there's a lot to work on, like Joe said. I don't think they can be that efficient in front of goal and come out with any result against Napoli, and it needs to be a win. I think in front of goal they need to be more clinical and create a lot more opportunities in a variety of ways. I think we could see in the first half how they wanted to create opportunities, get the ball out wide and try and just cross it in the box and hopefully someone sleeping. But against Italian teams and Conte, they won't get them opportunities. But
you
then
won't let them breathe, will you?
Yeah, and then also when you are defending so aggressively, I don't care what defender it is, physical attributes, he won't want to be left 1v1 against Lukaku. And if he is, he will be punished. So there has to be a more defensive-minded setup, especially against Napoli away.
Well, one real positive actually, as Liam mentioned, was the consecutive clean sheets. They'd had one clean sheet and 9 before that. But of course, you know, the missed opportunity was in front of goal, as you say. They can't be so wasteful. 21 attempts, 7 of them on target. And we talked, didn't we, pre-match about the goal difference being really important, particularly with all that congestion of teams, 8 of them on the same number of points trying to get into that top 8.
Yeah, but again, now I think they've given themselves an opportunity. The points are more important. I think before tonight, regardless, like we said, PSG and Newcastle playing each other, it gives them a chance to just be in there, just on points. And that's where you want to be. You don't have to be relying on goal difference, because with 10-15 minutes to go away from home, if you have to score 1 or 2 goals, you're leaving yourself open for counter-attacks and conceding. So they've given themselves the best opportunity they could by winning tonight.
Yeah, the important thing was absolutely getting that victory. And they did that, and as you say, so much work to do for this side as well. For Liam Rosenior, I'm sure he'll be, as I say, racking his brains and trying to find all the solutions. And with all the changes he made today, he actually got the result that he needed. And there we go, they got the victory. That is match day 7 concluded from the Champions. You watched that up there?
Yeah. Up and
it's
down
been a good old
stairs,
shift from you. Oh, was it the stairs that made you tired?
Yeah, the stairs are they're long, Resh. I ain't gonna lie, it's right up there.
It is right up there. No, I know it well. But job done for Chelsea, and it was really important, wasn't it, this, because there's been so many changes, not least from the manager right down to the personnel on the pitch. They just had to get this one right somehow.
I think every game.
Lucky in the end?
I wouldn't say lucky, but you know, Chelsea dominated the game. They just wasn't as clinical as they would have liked. I think putting myself in Liam's shoes, he'd probably want to get this period of this, you know, him coming over, because he hasn't had time to really get in there with the lads. You know, they just win games. We've said before, all of the talk, press conferences, setting the culture, you know, and everything. It's all about winning football matches, really, and it doesn't matter what style you play or anything. And today they got the win in the end, and there's a lot of things that needed to improve. And I think he'll just be wanting. I think he'll just want a little few days to himself and really think about his first 2 weeks, and get this club going. There's a lot of places the club can improve, and the team, and I think they will. But ultimately, they needed Caicedo. I think one of the best midfielders, if not the best midfielder in the league, in that position, to come and to nick the 3 points. Yeah,
he nicked the 3 points, and really important 3 points as well, because let's take a look at what that does for the table. It means that Chelsea do go into those all-important top 8 positions. They are in fact 8th, but the worrying thing is that they're level on points with 8 other teams as well, one of them being Manchester City, who dropped down to 11th. But it's looking good for the English sides, isn't it, because you've got Arsenal, who have already qualified in top spot, absolutely rampant in the Champions League this season. Liverpool move up to 4th, Spurs in 5th, PSG are in 6th, Newcastle as well, with a big win for them, moving up to 7th. For your old side, the next game is absolutely vital. The good thing for Manchester City is that they're at home for that one against Galatasaray.
Yeah, again, and they'll have to improve, but looking at the fixtures as well as next week, I think it's PSG versus Newcastle, so both of them can't finish in the top 8, so there's a real opportunity for City to get back into the top 8, but they'll have to be better than they were yesterday, because defensively in the last 2 games they've been all over the shop.
Are you surprised by how competitive it is this season? It was always going to be, and the last day, as we saw last season as well, it was all sort of touch and go right up until the last moment.
No, I'm not surprised. You know, it was all new to us last year. Didn't really know what to expect, and then, you know, match day 8 was brilliant. You know, you're in, you're out. There were so many connotations that could have happened, so it was really exciting. I'm already, because I'm on that gig in the Goal Show next week, where it's going to be like, my head will be spun all over Europe. Who's going to win? So yeah, I'm really looking forward to that, because it does, you know,
Yeah.
We've seen great games, but we haven't seen jeopardy. And you've got all the jeopardy on the last 8. And to have all of our teams could finish in the top 8 is remarkable. It shows you the strength of the Premier League. It really does.
Yeah, absolutely. And Chelsea, as we say, look, they did what they had to do today. We saw Moise Caicedo. We heard from him as well. Player of the match, rightly so for Chelsea tonight. He was just on the end of so much tonight. It was just that one opportunity that had to go in, and it did eventually.
Yeah, definitely. And like I said, on another night he ends up with a hat-trick. Some clean strikes. Whether it's by design or just default, he tends to find space in around the box, and whether it's in there to nullify the counter-attack, but he finds space. And second half he operated in a deeper role and had a bit more responsibility in the build and the penultimate pass. But again, vitally here, he got the goal that won in the game.
Yeah, I mean he's improving all the time. He's people balked at 100 million that was spent to him, and he took a while to settle in, but I think something about 18 months ago he just got back to winning, being that sort of destroyer in midfield, breaking it up, connecting passes, and he's built from that base, and now he's adding important goals and leadership, and the place was turning a little bit. The fans getting a bit twitchy at about 75 minutes, and what it's like, Jolie, when you're on the pitch and a game you should be winning and you're not, the nerves kick in, you start trying to force things. And that's when you're looking around for your big players, and he's fast becoming, the most important player at this club, and that 100 million looks like a snip now.
We're looking at so many sort of changes to this side as well, aren't we? At the back, at the front, but the two that have really stuck when they've both been fit is Enzo Fernandez and Moises Caicedo, and I think it's the way that they play off each other that has been so key to kind of providing. Whilst there's been so much change elsewhere.
Yeah, that often happens when you join the club at a similar time as someone else. You kind of create a bond on and off the pitch, and it looks like they've definitely understand each other's game. They have a lot of respect for the other person and what they do for each other. And tonight, Enzo was operating a bit slightly further forward in the first half, but again, second half, he recognised that Caicedo's deeper player. Can you get the ball into these areas? And it paid off.
Yeah, well, look, one person should have been man of the match was the Paphos keeper, Gorta. He was very
back and defend for the whole game.
Yeah, it's so difficult, but we control the game really well, so that was important for us, because in every moment we gonna score one goal.
And currently, Moises, that goal has put Chelsea in the top 8 of the Champions League with a huge game against Napoli away next week. But that goal has put yourselves in a much better position going into that game, hasn't it?
Yeah, for sure. It was very important goal. So, as I said, I'm so happy because we get the 3 points, and now we're going to enjoy and we're going to keep going, because we have one more game to go to stay up.
Congratulations, Moises.
Thank you very much.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, Moises Caicedo, he had 4 attempts on target tonight, all of them. He's got the most of any other player in the Chelsea shirt tonight, the most of his career actually in a Chelsea shirt. He's rightly the player of the match tonight, and more importantly, he's given his side 3 all-important points, which put them in a good position heading into that final match day. There he is taking his selfies, and plenty more coming up on TNT Sports for you, of course.
And the goal, was absolutely sensational.
How hard is it to play off the ball like they did for such a large part of this game?
It's even harder when they're probably not used to that. They dominate domestically, so they're used to having possession and being the team that creates opportunities. So the defenders would have been under immense pressure, and it also would have been hard for them to prepare for that in training, because again, they're not used to setting up like that, and it's not always by design. Sometimes teams force you back, but they would have anticipated Chelsea having large spells of possession, but they did create some opportunities for themselves, and that's the thing for me that Chelsea potentially need to work on, is how they allow other teams to get forward once they break.
Yeah. Okay, well, there's one player who just excites everyone here at Stamford Bridge. The moment he came on, he just dazzled, didn't he?
Yeah.
Bit of a bright spark. Estevao.
Yes, there's abundance, and the success came. But there's always something. They love a player who excites them, and he does excite. I come here and I sit up there and I watch him, and the first name I look for is Estevao playing. And that just tells you everything.
Already as well. I had a friend who works for Chelsea who texted me and said, I want him to score so they can play Casey and the Sunshine Band, because they all love it when he does. But he is just one of those players who you just feel has got I mean, he's only 18. He's got so much still left in him, so much to develop. And while he's a different profile to maybe Liam Delap, who we were talking about pre-match, there's something that he can really add to this team. It's that little bit of dynamism, that bit of magic when their backs are against the wall.
Yeah, definitely. And he's obviously at a different position to Liam. But his freedom and his belief in his ability, even for Brazil, when I've watched him for them, he's given a responsibility that not many players get unless you trust their talent, and rightly so. He was put on in the second half to create moments. I thought he started off very brightly and then faded a little bit into the game. I think they recognised how much of a threat he was and doubled up, tripled up on him, giving the respect he deserves. But again, as he gets older and a bit more mature and a bit more understanding of the game that he's actually playing in, he'll cause immense problems for the opposition.
Absolutely incredible talent. And this side is really full of talent, isn't it? It's just finding the right